Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing timeline analysis, CySA event reconstruction. So this video is going to be about timeline analysis. We're going to be doing a YouTube video on timeline analysis for the CySA Plus course. Be learning real world stuff in this video. Not necessarily, this is just like the info part of the video, right? We'll be doing labs later, right? Timeline analysis is the process of collecting, organizing, and analyzing time-stamped data to reconstruct the sequence of events in a security incident. It helps investigators understand the who, what, when, and where, and how of an attack, from initial compromise to exfiltration or damage. Why is timeline analysis important? Incident reconstruction establishes the order of events to identify the attack's scope and impact. Evidence correlation combines data from multiple sources, logs, memory, and network for a complete picture. Legal and reporting provides a defensible timeline for investigators or legal proceedings. Key concepts in timeline analysis. Let's cover some foundational concepts. Time-stamped artifacts, data with associated timestamps such as logs, log files, metadata, or network packets. So every file contains metadata, and that can be used by attackers to get information about you, right? So just stripping out that metadata, right, and will help you out so much because you don't want people to have your metadata and stuff like that. That malware and stuff would actually just steal from your system because they value that information, right? And next thing, right, we have common data sources for timeline analysis, var, syslog. So network logs, firewall logs, IDS, IPS alerts, or NetFlow data. Packet captures from tools like Wireshark. File system metadata. File creation, modification, and access times. So we have modified, accessed, created times. Whenever I think MAC address or mandatory access control. I'm just getting all these acronyms in my head, and they mean so many different things. Cloud logs, AWS CloudTrail, Azure Activity Logs, or GCP audit logs. We have endpoint data, process execution logs, registry changes, or endpoint detection response alerts. We have memory artifacts, running processes, network connections, or loaded DLLs from memory dumps. Tools for timeline analysis. We have here are popular tools for collecting and analyzing timeline data. We have Plazo Log2 timeline. Overview, an open source tool for generating timelines from multiple data sources. Overview, an open source tool for generating timelines from multiple data sources. It parses logs, file metadata, and forensic artifacts. Outputs to timelines in CSV or other formats for analysis. So think of it as you know how when you're trying to find differences in the things? This tool is literally made to find the differences in the timelines and piece them together. And it won't always be accurate and all that, but I don't think it'll be always accurate, but it definitely could help you in analysis and stuff. So here's an example. We have log2timeline.py, which is a Python script, -- log sources, then the path to your logs and the timeline output.csv. Why use it? Automates timeline creation from diverse sources. We have Autopsy, which is actually bundled in Kali Purple. It's a GUI-based forensic tool with timeline analysis features. Key features: visualizes file system and log events in a chronological view. Supports Windows, Linux, and mobile artifacts. Why use it? User-friendly for beginners and integrates with other forensic tasks. Wireshark, definitely gonna be using this tool a lot in our labs and stuff. I mean, I can't put a number on how much times we're gonna use it. For Splunk, it's sort of complicated to set up, but Elastic Stack is so much more complicated. Splunk, it's just agent-based, and you just go boom. Elasticsearch is also agent-based with file beats and stuff like that, and you have different agents. We talked about that at the start of the course. Just a little update on it. And Splunk is that enterprise. When you have so much logs coming in, Splunk is what I go to, right? But certain scenarios why different stuff will be better for you. Magnet Axiom is I think I like mobile devices, right? A commercial forensic tool with timeline visualization. Key features: integrates system, network, and cloud artifacts. Generates interactive timelines for investigations. While use it, streamlines analysis with a user-friendly interface. Sounds like it got a really nice user interface, which could be good because you're going to be looking at it a lot if you're capturing and analyzing timelines with it, which could help you if you're, analyzing logs off a mobile phone, stuff like that. We have collect data, gather logs. We have gather logs, PCAPs, memory dumps, and file system artifacts. Use tools like FTK Imager or Dump It. For acquisition, normalize timestamps, convert all timestamps to UTC to avoid confusion across time zones. Example, adjust Windows event log times to UTC using Plasso. Parse and extract artifacts, use Plasso or Autopsy to extract time-stamped events from logs and files. Correlate events, link related events. A login followed by a file access across sources. Example, match a suspicious login in Azure Activity Logs with a file download in CloudTrail. Visualize the timeline. Use tools like Splunk or Magnet Axiom to create a visual timeline. Highlight key events like initial compromise or data exfiltration. Document findings. Record the timeline with timestamps, sources, and descriptions for reporting. Key artifacts to include in a timeline. Focus on these artifacts to reconstruct an incident. Authentication events, logins, failed attempts or account changes, Windows, event ID 4624. File access, creation, modification, or deletion of files. MAC times, network activity, DNS queries, connections or to CT servers, or data transfers. Process execution. Okay, everybody, welcome back. We have file access, creation, modification, or deletion of files, right? Modified, accessed, and created times. Network activity, DNS queries, connections to CT servers, or data transfer. Process execution, malicious processes or scripts launched from EDR logs. System changes, registry modifications, new services, or scheduled tasks. Best practices for timeline analysis. Use multiple sources, combine system, network, and cloud data for a complete picture. Preserve original data. Work on copies of logs or images to maintain evidence integrity. Account for time skew. Verify system clocks are synchronized via network time protocol. Focus on key events. Prioritize artifacts related to the attack. Initial access, lateral movement. Use tools like Plasso to handle large datasets efficiently. Automate where possible, right? Challenges in timeline analysis. Data volume. Large environments generate massive amounts of logs, requiring filtering. Time synchronization. Inconsistent system clocks can skew timelines. Incomplete data, missing logs, or deleted artifacts can create gaps. Cloud environments. Limited access to low-level data complicates cloud-based timelines. Didn't we talk about this already? We probably did, but here's a workflow for timeline analysis of suspected data breach. Gather Windows event logs, AWS CloudTrail logs, and PCAPs. Use Plasso to parse logs. Identify key events. Find a suspicious login, event ID 4624 in Windows security logs. Correlate with a CloudTrail event showing S3 bucket access. Analyze network traffic. Use Wireshark to filter for data exfiltration. Build the timeline. Build out the timeline, right? Visualize and report. Import the timeline into Splunk for visualization. Document findings for incident report. For the CySA exam tips. For the CompTIA CySA Plus exam, understand the role of timeline analysis in the NIST incident response framework. Know tools like Plasso, Wireshark, and Splunk for parsing and visualizing data. Be familiar with key artifacts like authentication events and file metadata. Explain how to correlate events across multiple sources. Practice building timelines from sample logs or PCAP files. Timeline analysis is a powerful technique for reconstructing security incidents and understanding attack behavior. By mastering tools like Plasso, Wireshark, and Splunk, and focusing on key artifacts, you'll be well prepared for the CySA Plus exam and real-world investigations. Keep practicing to become a confident incident responder. Thank you everybody for watching the timeline analysis YouTube video. Please subscribe on YouTube